of you. I am again here to explain next topic of Rana tigrina, that is frog, regarding its circulatory system. So we are going to begin with circulatory system of frog, and the most important part of circulatory system, you all know the pumping organ is heart. So frog's heart is three-chambered. You all are aware of that. Amphibians have three-chambered heart. In this three-chambered heart, there are present two atria and a single undivided ventricle. See the picture shown over here. There are visible two atria and a single ventricle, but there is one more structure shown just above two atria. There is present Truncus Arteriosus. So heart of frog is three-chambered. There are present three chambers, but along with those chambers, two more chambers are there. Let me tell you, heart of vertebrates contain two types of chambers. One, they are true chambers, and second type, they are accessory chambers. True chambers are atria and ventricles, and accessory chambers are Truncus Arteriosus and Sinus Venosus. Another important thing, accessory chambers are more developed in lower organisms like in fishes and amphibians, but as we move forward, as we move upward towards the higher vertebrates, there is an evolutionary trend that accessory chambers got reduced while true chambers persist over there. So being an amphibian, heart of frog contain three true chambers and two accessory chambers. Let me tell you, three true chambers, I am telling you again and again, two atria and one ventricle, and two accessory chambers are Truncus Arteriosus, visible in the picture as it is ventral view of heart, and there is another one, Sinus Venosus, present on the dorsal side. So before I start with detailed idea, you all know that heart is enclosed by a protective layer, and the protective layer is called pericardium. Pericardium is the two-layered transparent sac that encloses heart and vertebrates. Pericardium has two layers. The inner layer is visceral pericardium and the outer layer is parietal pericardium. Visceral pericardium is in contact with heart, and parietal pericardium, being the outer layer, in contact with the body wall. There, in between these two layers, there is present a cavity called pericardial cavity filled with pericardial fluid. And that you all know, pericardial fluid, it serves three functions. Being a fluid, it provides moisture to heart. It also works as a mechanical shock absorber. If any mechanical injury happens, that shock is absorbed by the surrounding fluid. And third one, it permits frictionless movement of heart during its contraction and relaxation. So after pericardium, you should know position of heart in frog's body. Let me tell you, in frog's body, heart is present in between lungs, just below the liver. Okay, it remains covered by liver. And just see the shape. It's a conical structure, dark red color conical organ whose apex is directed backward while base is directed forward. Okay. Now in the next picture, just see dorsal and ventral view of heart. See the shape, conical organ, apex, I told you it is directed backward while base is directed forward. See in dorsal view of heart, you can find two auricles are labeled, right auricle, left auricle and single ventricle, and I told you on the dorsal surface there is present a structure called sinus venosus. It is an important accessory chamber present in amphibian heart. See the ventral view. In ventral view, you can find again two auricle, a single ventricle, but a new structure called Truncus Arteriosus. Let me tell you, Truncus Arteriosus is formed by the fusion of ventral aorta and conus arteriosus. Got it? So sinus venosus and Truncus Arteriosus, these are two accessory chambers seen in frog's heart. Now one more view is shown over here. Dorsal view showing one accessory chamber, sinus venosus. Sinus venosus is a triangular structure that receive two precaval, right and left, and one postcaval. Let me tell you, sinus venosus is the organ that receive deoxygenated blood from the entire body. Okay, and that blood is then poured into right atrium. See on the ventral side, you will find this flask-shaped Truncus Arteriosus, another accessory chamber. Now let's move to detailed idea. This is the internal structure of frog heart. One more view is there, a simplified diagram showing you internal structure of frog heart. I told you there are three true chambers, two auricle and one ventricle. So let me tell you, auricles are forming the upper part of heart. I told you they form interior half of heart. They are thin walled. Why they are thin walled? Because they are pumping blood just to ventricle situated just below them. Right auricle, see the right auricle. Right auricle is somewhat larger. The blue colored area is right auricle. Right auricle is somewhat larger than left auricle. I told you na, right auricle received the entire deoxygenated blood collected by sinus venosus. And just see, auricles open into ventricle by an opening called auriculoventricular aperture guarded by auriculoventricular valve. Okay, I told you that dorsal side contains sinus venosus. It's a triangular, thin walled chamber, I told you, present on the dorsal surface of heart. Let me tell you, it receives vena cava at three angles. I told you, two precaval, you can see left precaval and right precaval, and there is one post caval. And already I told you, sinus venosus receive the deoxygenated blood from all parts of body. Precaval get it from the upper body part और post caval इकट्ठा करती है from the lower body parts, and the entire deoxygenated blood is then poured into right auricle. See this opening. Right auricle contain an opening called sinoauricular aperture, and this sinoauricular aperture, it is there for the opening of sinus venosus into right auricle. It is guarded by sinoauricular valves over there, and these valves, you know, they prevent backflow of blood from auricle to sinus venosus. Got it? Left auricle, you see, it is somewhat smaller than right auricle, and left auricle receive oxygenated blood from the pulmonary vein, okay, from the lungs. There is a common opening of pulmonary vein which opens into left auricle, and this opening is somewhat oblique, so it is not bounded by any of the valve. So two auricle, right is larger, left is smaller. Right receive sinus venosus and left receive opening of common pulmonary vein. Right receive deoxygenated blood and left auricle receive oxygenated blood. Now you see the lower part. The lower part is ventricle. I told you ventricle is single and undivided. There is no septum, and that is why it is undivided ventricle. Okay, if you see the external surface, externally there is a groove between auricle and ventricle, and this is called auriculoventricular groove. Just see, it is somewhat triangular, but the wall of auricle is very thick and highly muscular. Why wall is thick and muscular? Because it has to supply blood to farthest end of the body, to all parts of the body. Just see, the inner surface of ventricle is not smooth. Auricle का inner surface smooth था, but ventricle का inner surface is uneven. Why it is uneven? Because it contain ridges and depressions. Let me tell you, the ridges are called columnae carneae. Okay, and just you see, depressions are called fissures. So ventricles have columnae carneae, the muscular ridges, and one more thing you can see over here, there are special cord-like structures called chordae tendinae. These are chordae tendinae. Okay, chordae tendinae are special cord-like structure which hold auriculoventricular valve. Okay, so auriculoventricular valve, the flaps of that valve, they are connected to ventricular wall through chordae tendinae. And you know, when ventricle contract, so during that contraction, it may cause back pushing of auriculoventricular valve, and that is prevented by chordae tendinae. Chordae tendinae prevent collapsing of auriculoventricular valve. So chordae tendinae are somewhat unique structure found in ventricle. So remember, auricles, they have smooth surface, they have less muscles in their wall because they have to supply blood just to the ventricle situated below them, but ventricle has thick muscular wall with columnae carneae and chordae tendinae. Chordae tendinae are the cords which provide support to auriculoventricular valve over there. Got it? Now the another accessory chamber, the second one, I told you sinus venosus, which is present on the dorsal side. Now if you see the ventral view of heart, then you find this special structure called Truncus Arteriosus. This entire area I am showing just over the right auricle, it is Truncus Arteriosus. Let me tell you, it is a tubular chamber which is present on the right auricle, just on the ventral side of right auricle. Okay, now just you see Truncus Arteriosus, it starts from ventricle, and just at the origin it bear three semilunar valves. There are present three semilunar valves just at the base of Truncus Arteriosus, which separate it from ventricle. Okay, and these semilunar valves, they permit the blood to flow from ventricle into truncus. Okay, and prevent the backflow also. Now another important thing, Truncus Arteriosus, it is divided into, just see the upper part, it is further divided into three branches, and each branch further has three arches. Okay, there is carotid arch, systemic arch, and pulmocutaneous arch. Carotid arch supply blood to head region, then pulmocutaneous to lungs and to skin region. So on the upper part, this Truncus Arteriosus is divided into two branches. Each branch carry three arteries, three arches, carotid, systemic and pulmocutaneous arch. Now if we see the internal structure of this Truncus Arteriosus, you can find that Truncus Arteriosus is divided into two parts. The lower part I have labeled here phalangium, and the upper part is synangium. Okay, phalangium is the proximal part and distal part is synangium. Phalangium and synangium both are separated by a spiral valve. And see this valve is vertical in the lower part, and then it becomes oblique in the middle part and horizontal at the anterior end. So this spiral valve divides the cavity of Truncus Arteriosus into proximal phalangium and distal synangium. The upper part is synangium and proximal part is phalangium. Now see the phalangium further. Phalangium further is divided into two portions. There is cavum aorticum and cavum pulmocutaneum. Let me tell you, cavum pulmocutaneum, it starts from left side. Okay, cavum pulmocutaneum left side से start होगा, but then it curve to right side to become dorsal in position. Start left से होगा, but curve to right side to become dorsal in the anterior part of phalangium. Cavum aorticum, you see, it start from right side, but due to spiral valve, it will curve to the left side and become ventral in the anterior part. Okay, so just to keep in mind that Truncus Arteriosus has phalangium and synangium. Phalangium is further divided into cavum aorticum and cavum pulmocutaneum. Cavum aorticum and cavum pulmocutaneum, these are two parts of phalangium which are separated by a spiral valve. Okay, now you see the upper part, synangium. Synangium is the distal part, I told you. It is distal and smaller part, and it is divided into two chambers again by a partition called septum principale. Okay, there are two chambers, the dorsal chamber and the ventral chamber. Dorsal chamber is connected to cavum pulmocutaneum. Okay, the cavum pulmocutaneum I told you, which begin from left side but later it will shift to right side. So the dorsal chamber is connected to cavum pulmocutaneum and it has opening of pulmocutaneous arches, while ventral chamber is connected to cavum aorticum and it receive openings of carotid and systemic arches. Got it? So this is regarding structure of heart. So keep in your mind, there are two accessory chambers, sinus venosus and truncus arteriosus. Sinus venosus present on the dorsal side and truncus arteriosus present on the ventral side. Truncus arteriosus further has two parts, phalangium and synangium. Phalangium has cavum pulmocutaneum and cavum aorticum separated by a spiral valve, and synangium has dorsal and ventral chamber separated by septum principale. So in total there are 5 chambers, I told you. There are three true chambers. and two accessory chambers, and that together makes up structure of heart. So this is all about today's lecture regarding structure of heart, regarding its functioning and composition of blood and its function. I'll send my next video to you. So do subscribe my channel for my next video.